These guys are Furbies. You've probably seen one of these guys in your lifetime, or at least have heard of them. They were just like every toy fad. Cabbage Patch dolls, Beanie Babies, fidget spinners. They all took the world by storm for a few short years, and then suddenly disappeared. This is the rise and fall of Furbies. These two guys, Dave Hampton and Caleb Chung, are the ones responsible for the cute but nightmarish creatures. They were inspired by another 90s craze, the Tamagotchi. It took them 9 months to create the toy and another 9 months to design it. Richard Levy, another toy and game developer, joined their efforts. Levy brought Furby to Tiger Electronics, and they bought the rights to it. The Furby made its debut at the American International Toy Fair in 1998. Furbies retailed for $35 and sold extremely well. Their immense popularity skyrocketed demand for the 1998 Christmas season. They sold so fast they couldn't keep them on shelves. This led to resale prices going over $100, sometimes into several $100s. In one 12-month period, over 27 million Furbies sold. So, what about these owl things make them so popular? Well, they were the first successful domestically aimed robot. There were also so many variations and different kinds, making them very collectible. Much of Furby's popularity is attributed to their supposed intelligence. Furby's programming made it appear as if they could develop language skills. When they were first bought, Furbies exclusively spoke their language, Furbish. It was just a bunch of syllables and noises, but as they were played with, they would quote-unquote grow, and they would develop English. Eventually, all Furbish would be lost, and they would speak only English. Furbies could be set in 9 different languages: English, French, Spanish, German, Italian, Japanese, Swedish, Greek, and Portuguese. Another ability they had was talking to one another. Through this infrared port located right here between their eyes, they could see each other, and they would speak Furbish. The slogan for these Furbies was, "The more you play with me, the more I do. I will keep amazing you." I'm not even going to take the joke bait. With their communication abilities, people believed they were spy robots, including the NSA of the United States. In 1999, the National Security Agency banned Furbies from entering the NSA's property due to concerns that they may be used to record and repeat classified information. The NSA thought the Furbies had an artificial intelligence chip that could learn from the things the users said. Of course, all these beliefs are untrue. Furbies are in fact just toys. Eventually the ban was lifted. At the height of the Furby craze, they released Furby Babies in 1999, which were basically just smaller Furbies. They had higher-pitched voices and could not dance. However, they switched to English faster than the original Furbies. There were also 3 Furbies based off characters. One based off Gizmo from Gremlins, Yoda from Star Wars, and E.T. from, well, E.T. Another Furby product was the Shelby. Released in 2001, this is what they looked like. I don't think they're remembered as well as a Furby. Besides the difference in looks, Shelbies had an improved memory and could sense whether they were upside down or not. When you tickled the antennae, or tennies as they called them, they would laugh. Shelbies would also purr when pet, and could be fed by sticking your finger in its mouth. Also using their sensor, they knew if they were talking to a Furby or a Shelby, even saying phrases like, "Where's Furby?" They spoke some Furbish and had their own unique Shelbish. Also during this time, McDonald's released an 80-toy set to collect. There were 8 different types of Furbies with different functions, and then 10 color variants of all 8 functions. These 3 products, Furby, Furby Babies, and Shelby, marked Generation 1. Generation 1 lasted for 4 years and ended in 2002. This was due to oversaturation and a drop in demand. Furbies would disappear for 3 short years until the second generation was created. Releasing in 2005, the new Emototronic Furbies were bigger, but not necessarily better. They had a more emotional face and a better voice recognition system. They can communicate with other Emototronic Furbies, but less than what the original Furbies could do. They also could not interact with old Furbies. They lack light sensors and motion sensors. Unlike the originals, they do not respond to loud sounds either. Emototronic Furbies were also given backstories. We learn Furbies come from a place called Furby Island. I will go into the story a different day. The second generation also saw Emototronic Furby Babies, essentially smaller Emototronic Furbies, but with significantly less features and a smaller design. Also in the second generation, there were Emototronic Funky Furbies. They had 3 different color combinations and were essentially singing Furbies. They knew 3 songs and could be taught and actually remember dance routines. The slogan for this generation was, "Your Emototronic Friend." In 2007, the second generation of Furbies would end. Was this actually the end of Furbies? Haha, no. The third generation, beginning in 2012, after a 5-year hiatus, they would come out with these new Furbies. They now had monochromatic LCD eyes, with a wider range of emotions. They could adapt their personality in reaction to the user's behaviors. Another new feature was that the Furby would turn itself off after 1 minute of inactivity. The new Furbies also got an app called, well, you guessed it, Furby. It could communicate with the Furby via high-pitched sounds. The app has since been removed. 5 new languages were added to the roster as well: Russian, Chinese, Mandarin, Korean, and Polish. The slogan for these Furbies was "a mind of its own," not really helping with the whole spyware theory. The third generation would see a huge influx of Furby variant products. There were Furby Party Rockers that came with pre-programmed personalities. There were Furby Boom. They came with an app called, of course, Furby Boom. This app has also been removed. The slogan for these guys was, "A new generation is hatching." There were Furblings, a toy based on the Furby Boom app, Furby Boom Crystal, more variants, Furby Boom Crystal Furblings, even more variants, and Furbaka, a Chewbacca-themed Furby, rounds this generation off in 2015. Kinda a lackluster ending for Furby, huh? Well, good thing, because it isn't the end. 2016 would bring us the fourth generation, just a mere year after the third one ended. Now the new one is called Furby Connect. These iterations had clear plastic joysticks sticking out of its head, which lit up different colors when played with. This joystick was used to play games with the Furblings in their new app called Furby Connect World. It would learn songs from the app and sing them. The app was later removed in 2021. This Furby could only speak English and Russian. Their slogan was "Furby connects you to a world of surprises." This generation ended in 2017, just 1 year after its release. So, is this finally the end? No. The fifth generation begins in 2023. These new Furbies have 3 varieties, only 2 of which are available in the US. They cannot be connected to an app like past iterations. They have lost their LCD eyes and have opted for an even worse option. They're looking a whole lot different than what they did 25 years ago. They have glowing ears and respond to petting, shaking, feeding, the usual stuff. This time they are bundled with a necklace and a comb so that you can style your Furby. They know 6 languages: English, Spanish, German, Italian, French, and Polish. Also in this generation, we have Furblets. It's basically a third attempt at baby Furbies. They have no moving parts besides the ears, which even those you have to move manually. So are we done now? Yes, but only because we've caught up to modern day. I have the funniest of feelings that the 5th generation is going to end rather quickly, because 1, the generations seem to get shorter and shorter, and 2, this generation sucks. So, where can we attribute the fall? I believe the fall happened when the first generation ended in 2002. Every Furby since has been a shell of itself, or trying to be something it's not. The whole point of Furby was to just be a funny, goofy little guy in your house. Fast forward to modern day and they are hatching babies and playing games in our smartphones. Furby has lost its purpose. Unfortunately, no company can ever accept that their best days are behind them, and they should stop. I wouldn't say the initial fall of Furby was sad. It's just what happens with toy fads. They come in and they go. But now what Furby has done, dragging their feet through the mud, wrecking the Furby name, and just beating a dead horse. Now that's sad. It's time for the 5th generation to be its last. And will it? No.
Welcome to the Furby crew. Free theater, Furby new. Furby knows you're like no other, so dream your dreams in Technicolor.